The parade will be at ease. This parade is drawn from many schools around HOHOE. The formation you see is an arrow formation. Simplifying that from HOHOE, we are moving forward and not backwards. The parade is led by Mary Jidupa, the parade commander. Jidupa Mary, the parade commander. The wreath bearers, Abdul Wahab, Ayisi Jessica, Umache Loretta, Amegashi Dobara, Nunya Bidaho, Abubakar, and Ishmael Hailatu are our wreath bearers for the 44th anniversary. Our touch bearers, Derek Amegashi, Ebenezer Engman, our cenotaph guards, Nathaniel Woglo, Mohammed Safiano, Ponublo Gilbert, and Jonathan Sechi. As we wait for the entrance of our special guest, we would invite a poet who was also part of the revolution. So without much ado, I'll call on our brother Cassidy to give us some memories.
Let me oh la le ma 44 years ago today, the junior officers and the other ranks of the Ghana Armed Forces, led by a young, charismatic person of late Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings, took the arms and overthrew the Supreme Military Council. There were total decay in our social values, a breakdown of law and order. The country was in tatters. As we commemorate the landmark today, we have to reflect the sacrifices and to remind us of the 4 pillars of the revolution: accountability, probity, transparency, and social justice. When tomorrow comes without KJ Rawlings, please try to understand that an angel came from heaven and called his name and took him by his hands. The angel said to him, "Therefore, leave all those you believe and love behind and come home, for you have finished your job." But when he walked through the heaven's gate, and God looked down and said, "Welcome home, my son, for you have done your best to humanity."
I said this several times.
44 years ago this morning, a shrill voice shook the airwaves. Fellow countrymen, the junior officers of the Ghana Armed Forces have taken over this country. It is now left to you to decide how this country is going to go from today. And no one should stand on their way. We are asking nothing more than a revolution. That no decision will be taken from the castle for the consent of the ordinary Ghanaian. Today, 44 years ago, the ingredients that were used in preparing the June 4 soup that we kept in the bottle, are we there now quantum in the Ghanaian markets? Cadence. Did you hear the news? You heard the news? Reach out for the masses. Cadence. Teach them by doing. Show them by performing. Cadence. Live among the people. Listen to their complaints. Share with the mob-growers. Seek for their plight. Fight for the needy. Do or die a little for them. Compatriots, it is none of your sterling qualities. NDC needs your help. The foundation of the party rests on you. The legacies of the party cherish you. NDC, give them the logistics to perform. The beauty of the party recognize you. Get your loins, put your asses together, exhibit your quantum socialist experience. Let the party enjoy you. Cadets, demonstrate your Cuban militancy, your Bulgarian action, your Russian tactics, your Bosnian maneuvers, your Libyan astronauts. With your contributions, NDC needs you. Comrades, let the 44 years of the June 4 consolidate in the NDC games. As we celebrate 44 years today, may the sublime legacies of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings serve as a guide to current and future generations. We salute the fallen heroes and the founder and the leader. We vow to keep the spirit and the perpetual flame burning. Fare thee well, our hero. He lives on. A luta continua.
Choboy! Rakumi apu akpe. Ala mi pu akpe ne. Rakumi sabe bobo botoro le mi adome. Rakumi mi atiwe mi abubu to me na mi fide. Minute atompe. Abe mi hia bobo bochi mato e. Bobo botore mi de kuku na mi.
Yeah,
Avec comment
stand
Ago. Rakumi aba me pepe odo mi agbo fofo. Na ni mi se sari na go. Awo be gwo na to. Ago. Ago, Maragumi ato la tuama ya obado. Ago, Maragumi ke la tuama ya obado. Ago. Thank you.
Batman! Where's you? You are streaming live, you can't block because of streaming live.
Right, so please. Our guest
agbani no ai. Era kubwa amesia manager agbani no ai. Era kubwa amesia manager no ai. Abo mina kubwa amesia manager no ai. Na kumya no abeto disi bansa. Kabo kuto be chami. Baba do dara mi.
Wait. Pray! Healer salute! Pray! Shake!
Please, media, create space for us. Kindly create space for us. Thank you.
Healer salute! Present arms! Your Excellency, the 44th June 4th Uprising Reef Laying Parade format. In attendance, the HOHOE band, ready for your commitment. Patriots Mary Jidefo Akpesari reporting, Your Excellency.
That was the parade commander seeking permission to continue.
Pray on the arms. Pray, stand arms.
Thank you very much. It's now time to get our prayers.
The kumya pe abeto Dixon Bansa dogbe kuto be chami ple Trevi Pupoto apedon padu gbedana mi.
Oh my God, my yard is tough. My yard for you. We know what day my yummy. Ghana know what day my yummy. Oh, I know my yummy. Alabama know my yummy. For them I know my yummy. But I didn't know my yummy. Believe what you don't you know what day my yummy. My yummy there for you. I join you. June, I been a June 4th day. I'm over for no dome. Ochi Amero, Maronia de Vio. Daka, Luciano joy. You know me. I bet a June 4th Gumina Haway. I never better than Amero. I let you upon Amero. I can't have to watch it. There are Tajiga, blind back to Mafia to her. Tanusia, my own. The Belefa, I have a better son of a new bell, Cabo, bunu mi enyo le mepo begbe ya che mi po le da un ti ba fa di mi le la ohwe district ere afume jona le o dare ka mejo you for go ba ohwe gbe ta amere la du ebe you for ba ohwe ta o ba fun mejo lo ohwe o don ti ba fara me mi no na re ya me ko mi aka no amere du ji de do du ji amere ka makoyi etu na no fi ewo daka mana nya nya bere bi aza tu na be tu nya be jegele fe tu ala be na mi akola re tu pe ala ye yi adenyu ere e ma de gbegbele re o nti ba fa ti mi le gbe jora le lo gbindu ko na to de le me de di se te ne to de le me ba fa lo be te fa fila ya ba la me ne se fie yo be te le tua ya ba la me ne fie overlord o be te le o district o ba la me ne se mi o me va fiche mi ba la me ne se ya be ta to be te ba la me ne se ah ma che ba la me ne se ya be PC ba la me ne se ya be PC ba la me ne se e pe yo bore o be ko wo photo o be ko na je ko wo photo adown o susu do ko wo vote susu ye apoto Yesu so na mo sere na wala no na ro rin sere na na bi obete che na bi ko wa fu afu nyeto do pe ye gbore anu si aku na ore awo ko do sese na tami aga ba to bo le sere nu akwele ti fa famele fa fa no ba ida le dire accident idoro fu amoro boti no ogbelegbere ni da ma mo fi tira ko tira wa na jesi be ju for view ebi ba wo we ka gbogbo trova lusi e be jo ore nko ba no wo le tanu keke la jola nko lewu fa fa na fa ya be te ba la me selo aba be di pesa wa ka jolo ti fa fa men wa do le ti fa fa men ba vo de ma di do o we ovare o enu ijo de oji o ele gbe dora le ya be fi aga o bele to pe kuto yin lia to fi abe comment fa fa na valo Mr. Pena, Mr. Dixon Basa, Togo Kutobe Chami. If you are me, Malam Mabruk, play home over to Beranami.
صلوا على نبي الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير انك على كل شيء قدير تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب الله منا روقك zaman da aka yin ga samu zauna lafiya mu watse lafiya su kuma manya da suka zo Allah ya koma da su gida lafiya muna roƙon Allah 2024 Allah damka ma Muhammad kujeran Ghana baki daya damka ma Muhammad kujeran Ghana baki daya cikin ikon Allah cikin ikon ka Allah duk wanda zai yi magudi game da zabin da za a yi Allah ka rusa su Allah ka mai da su ashabul fil tarmihi bihi jaratul misjid faj'alahum ka'asfin ma'kul bismillahir rahmanir rahim alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin arrahmanir rahim maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin amin Amen. Thank you very much.
Pastor Peter Nabija, so Reverend Siga Memorial. There we do
Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, you created all things in their make. You make them all orderly according to the way you wanted. Today is marking a very important time in our lives of the party. And 44, just as you have made it, angelic number 44 means deserving success and reassurance. And today the success and reassurance of this party is coming back. Because you have made it, and it is significant to why you made it today. And if this party is coming back, then we are also resolute that we will totally follow you with all our hearts, with all our commitment, with all our soul and spirit. Help them, Lord. They are weak, you are mighty. They do not know the way, but you show them the way. The right way and not the wrong way. That peace will continue to prevail. That the peace of which we enjoy may not be thwarted, but your will be done. Wherever there will be anything misleading, bring it out and thwart it in Jesus' name. That this party will soar and take up the mantle once again. And then the colors of this nation which have become dim will brighten once again. We thank you, Lord, for you are God. You reveal your power to us once again. We bless your name. We thank you for the life of leadership, that they are here once again. You brought them from near and far to gather here. Our president is here. Our vice is here. We thank you for their lives. Once again, they will be sworn in, and victory shall be yours. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Right, thank you once again. I would humbly ask the media to also give us a little more space as we move straight to the wreath laying. Parade Commander, kindly take over. The first wreath will be laid on behalf of the people of Ghana. To do us the honor is our own Professor J. Nana Opoku Ajima. Even before independence, the people of Ghana have remained as a specialized, resilient group of black race that fought and liberated not only the Gold Coast, but the citizens of the whole of Africa continent, both at home and in the diaspora. With Dr. Kwame Nkrumah setting the pace, Ghana has continued to be the lone star that has given the black race its purpose and essence among the community of nations. On the occasion of the 44th anniversary of the June 4th uprising, we solemnly commit ourselves to be citizens of this great country, but not spectators.
Prof was the running mate to our candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. As we are all aware, Prof has her roots in our constituency as well. We thank you so much, Prof.
I thought we were going to put our hands together for Prof. The next week will be laid on behalf of the security services. To do us this honor is W.O. John Agblin. Day in, day out, at the peril of their lives, our security agencies have kept and continue to keep our borders, land, sea, and air secured for external attack, and also to ensure that citizens go about their duties and responsibilities in peace and safety. Their role in helping to prosecute the holy war of the June 4th that has brought a lasting democratic political climate for the past 44 years cannot be forgotten. We therefore salute our men and women in uniform for their bravery and commitment to national duty.
W.O. John Agblin has seen it all. He has been in active duty with the Ghana Armed Forces. And he's doing us this honor on behalf of the security services. We thank you so much, W.O. John Agblin. We are most grateful.
The next wreath will be laid on behalf Thank you very much. The Kedako, they are the unsung heroes and heroines, civilian arm of the June 4th uprising. Without guns, bows, and arrows, voluntarily sacrificed their lives to ensure that the ideals and principles of probity, accountability, and transparency reached out to the broad masses of the country. Haters are perhaps a forgotten species, but they are the sure bet of a stone that the builders rejected towards effective organization to win the 2024 general elections. Thank you very much, Comrade Samuel Adabla. The next wreath will be laid on behalf of our traditional rulers.
This will be done by Mama Gajesi, the first, Queen Mother of HOHOE Trevi. Mama is
our country without traditional leadership has no culture to direct it. The role chiefs in fronting and stabilizing national issues towards finding the genuine path to our progress and development has never been in doubt. We therefore celebrate our heritage as we continue to cherish our God-given roots for our survival and growth as a nation.
Mama is the Queen Mother of HOHOE Trevi, one of the divisional areas of the Green Traditional Council. Mama is one of the oldest Queen Mothers within the Traditional Council. Mama has been the one who took over acting as the paramount Queen Mother during the latter days of the last Queen Mother of the Green Traditional Council. We are so grateful to Mama for accepting to lay the wreath on behalf of the traditional rulers. Mianto miano enye Mama Gejesi Banto Yonu Fiacho Wahwe Trevi Abe Mama Gejesi Banto enye Yonu Fia Chichio de Metoreka Legbi Traditional Council Alogbi Traditional Area Abe Lesebu Chiliedo de Fiao Penyon Fiao Penkome Mama Watao Akwe Dareji Nami Ida Pena Mama oh be mi akwasi polygon there.
Thank you very much, Mama. The next brief we laid on behalf of our farmers and fishermen. To do us this honor is Mr. February John. To do us this honor. Since 1985, when the National Farmers Day was created by courtesy of the NDC, our tables have never been empty of food, no matter the circumstance. We therefore forever doff our hearts to remember and honor our farmers and fishermen who brave the forests and seas to keep hunger away all the time. Mr. John Debris is doing us this honor of laying the wreath for our farmers and fisherfolk. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for doing us this honor. The next wreath will be laid on behalf of the youth and women. To do us this honor is Honorable Frank Afriye. The youth and women are the natural source of our nationhood. Our mothers give us warmth and tutelage. The youth look upon the benevolence of our mothers, whilst they imbibe in them care and bravery from our fathers. Teach the youth the right path to life, and they will never deviate from it. According to them, remembrance means letting them know that while others come and go after playing their part, the future of preserving our heritage lies in the hands of our youth and women.
Honorable Frank Afriye is the current PC elect for Afajatu South. Honorable Frank Afriye has been a presidential staffer, and he was once the constituency chairman for Afajatu South. We thank you for the honor done us to lay the wreath on behalf of youth and women on this great occasion. Oswe anyubemi akwasi poligandene.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The last wreath will be laid on behalf of our late former President Rawlings. To do us this honor is his own daughter, Honorable Senator Rawlings. The reason why we are here, please, let's have some silence. Let's have some silence. The reason why we are here and will forever be the architect of the revolution, the legacy of which we sincerely treasure. J.J. Rawlings lives in our hearts. The legend is forever our inspiration. We remember him as a guide to ensuring that the legacy of patriotic service to our motherland is never swayed by parochial or group interests. Even in his grave, his cherished memory leads us to the path of building a just and free society that he passionately craved for. We promise that the NDC will continue to even crawl, if need be, to fly the flag of Ghana higher and higher at all times. So help us God.
Honorable Dr. Zanetta Rawlings is the first child of our founder. He is currently the Member of Parliament for Clotte constituency, and she is doing us the honor to lay the wreath on behalf of the founder. We thank you very much. She was only a year and 3 days when June 4 uprising occurred.
Please, I would humbly ask all men in uniform to be upstanding as we take salute for the last post. Please, let's clear the inner perimeters for the contingent, please. All men in uniform kindly take the salute as we take the last post. Parade Commander. Please, let's still remain standing as we take We are taking a minute silence on behalf of all departed comrades. May the soul of all our departed comrades rest in perfect peace. Reveille. Please, as the parade comes to an ease, let us all resume our seats. This is the time we are now going to light the perpetual flame. To help us light this 44th, June 4th anniversary is no other person than His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. To help the next president do us this honor will be Comrade Eric Borte, the General Secretary of the June 4th, and Comrade Patience Esifomai, the first MP for HOHOE North. Thank you very much. So please, I will humbly ask them to join His Excellency, the incoming President, to light the perpetual flame. The perpetual flame signifies hope, freedom, justice, and the peace of Ghana. This flame will continue to burn in our hearts. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Let's put our hands together. This flame will continue to burn in our hearts. It signifies our hope, our freedom, our peace, and the justice that we all seek to enjoy. The Kenyans are here, so let us all be on our feet as we receive His Excellency with the revolutionary song.
Long way to go, and I stand to stay. Revolution has a long way to go, but I stand to stay. Leaders may go, leaders may come, but the revolution has come to stay. Revolution has a long way to go, but I stand to stay. Leaders may go, leaders may come, but the revolution has come to stay. Revolution. has a long way to go. But has come to stay. La lucha! La lucha! La lucha! People! Revolution! People! Revolution! Action! Now! Power to the people! A luta continua.
Thank you very much, kiddos. The young ones wanted to prove this morning on a 20-kilometer walk. But, Your Excellency, I'm happy to announce to you that the cadets were able to do the 20 kilometers walk this morning. They are so strong. Now, let's call on the parade commander to ask for permission for the contingents to march off.
Right! Right! Shake! Show!
What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? They will not go to break. Yeah. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? They will not go to break. Yeah. What's the matter? Will not go to break. Yeah. What's the matter? Will not go to break. Yeah. What's the matter? 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 What don't want to break? Yeah. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What don't want to break? Yeah. What's the matter? What don't want to break? Yeah. What's the matter? What don't want to break? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What am I to do? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What am I to do? What's the matter? What am I to do? Yeah. What's the matter? What am I to do? Yeah. So, boy. So boy, so boy.
Before by the time you get there.
Good morning, Your Excellency. The 44th June 4th Uprising Reflame Parade over. May I have your permission to march off the parade, Your Excellency?
That was Parade Commander Titepu.
This formation is the arrow, signifying that we are moving forward from HOHOE and we are not looking back. And that is the formation for this parade. Let's put our hands together for the contingent. That was a brilliant performance. The commander, as we said earlier, is Mary Jericho.
The commander is Mary Jidepo. The ring bearers were Abdul Wahab Kalista 2, IEC Jessica, Laurette Kumache, Deborah Amegashi, Nunya Bidaho, Abubakar Najinan, Claire Ishmael Kaila 2. Abemi Akakwasilo, Ami Akwasipe Kane now, Oja Baba. Abayi we Peremia Claire Akakati Amegashi Derrick, Claire Egba Ebenezer. Ragumia the Bukuna Vuzela Tola Benita Sipo. Abayi we Peremia Claire Gas Nathaniel Waglu, Safian Mohammed, Gilbert Ponuglu, Claire Jonathan Sechi. Abayi Trino, Bankwanye, Emmanuel Labi, Obemia Kapwa Sipoli Gade Kana Oja Waba. Nina Wanabe, Apa Viliaji, Gwakwede.
Thank you very much once again. And this is just ushering us to the second part of this morning's commemoration. To welcome us will be our own chairman, regional chairman, Honorable Mauto Agbabito. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Choboy! Choboy! Boy! Akpanami, Miawe Zolo, Echi John Dramani Mahama, the leader of the great NDC party, and the next president of the Republic of Ghana, come 2025. Our former running mate, Prof. Jainana Opoku Ajimai, the General Secretary of our great party, who is a son of this land, Honorable Fifi Fiavi Kwete, the elders of the party, comrades, ladies and gentlemen, Tobeo Mamao, Enye Jijonambe Obenemado Wezonami Egbe. Bedibe maglobe miape pekpele fi egbe enye nu xɔse alo enye nu tɔxɛ ɖe ke nye kpe do dzi ne mi be 44 years alo ƒe blane wòene va yi miatɔ sodzaviwo kple dumetɔwo ke woƒe Ghana ƒe vevenyenye le dzime na wo wokɔ tu alebe wode enu vɔ̃ɖi wɔwɔ le dukɔ keme. After my year, I want to take the opportunity to also congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for winning the primaries on the 13th of May. Your Excellency, the Chairman Caucus, of whom the Dean is here, we promised to deliver more than 98%, and I believe we did that. Congratulations, sir. The region is proud to host the 44th anniversary of the June 4. It's an honor, more importantly, to be hosted here in HOHOE. The choice of HOHOE is not by accident. The choice of HOHOE is for us to reflect on what had happened, which was an anomaly, and which we are determined to correct in the next election. Ladies and gentlemen, The importance of June 4th cannot be lost on us. The bravery displayed by the forebears, the courage of fighting and standing for the truth, probity, accountability, transparency were the core values. It is for us today as young people to imbibe those principles to guide our political journey. We must be fair to everybody, we must work very hard, and the greatest honor we'll do for the forebears is for us to go and win the 2024 election. The launch or the celebration of the 44th anniversary in Volta region, for us, is a revolutionary launch of our campaign towards 2024. A launch to deliver 1 million votes for the NDC, and also to win all the 18 seats in the region. That is the project, and that is how it's going to be. I can assure Your Excellency that we are ready and prepared to deliver as expected of cadres, as expected of members of the party from this region. On this note, Your Excellency, I want to stand on behalf of the council, members of Council of Elders, the Parliamentary Caucus, members of the United Cadre Front and their leadership, cadres, branch executives, constituency executives across the region, to welcome you warmly, to welcome all of us to the 44th anniversary celebration of the June 4 movement. Thank you very much. But before I take my seat, on the 13th of May, the constituency gathered and selected or elected a consensus candidate. We gathered to elect our parliamentary candidate, who is ready to wrestle the seat from the MPP. I believe all of us gathered here are determined to make sure that our candidate for HOHOE wins. On this note, I want to bring out our candidate for HOHOE, Walanyo, or Efo Walanyo as we popularly call him, to come and say a word to the supporters of this event. Thank you very much.
Nyanya melala vavolito. Mebe nyanya melala vavolito. Nyanya melala vavolito. Nyanya melala vavolito. Wọ́n tó mi ka wọ ọ̀nà àpọ́rọ́ mi náà wọ ọ̀nà àpọ́ gbèsè àgbẹ̀ kàkẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ yáde ewu gbèsè àgbẹ̀ mẹ́nyà bẹ́ àtìkìlì yìí ó sí lẹ́wọ́ ẹgbọ́n mẹ́ ẹnu mi ó pọ̀ dé ọ̀nà ó sì dé àná fọ̀fọ̀ tó náà tó gbẹ̀jì tí kò yí 7 December 2024 ẹ̀yẹ́sù àpẹ gán dẹ́màdánà mi àpẹ́tẹ́. Mi aspirants opete mi na mi nyabe na mi wa election e boa mi aso azon la bloji ana mesia me nyabe de ka wo le mi ame me na si ba mi china mi wa e gba mi wo hoho ajuko pete ko mi poda no vinya frank e ya mi buburo fi mi do kan kui e kasi nya buburo fi mi kasi nya Christifia ko e fonya tronton brechela me mi poda loyalty ke e ya le MC du la fi. If you better do come on, God, never end this man. Mile clalo, azu, mile clalo bede. Mi apesi mi MPP tofide, mi akwelo pasi melo. Demejibe ma yiji ko begbe gake, obe mi ape president. Consider gbe medu obegbo mesi ebegbe chao. Mr. President, 44 years ago, some of us were not born. the uprising happened. So what we did was we read about it, believed in it, because it was an uprising that brought sanity into our country. It happened for the good of all of us. And we are proud of our cadres who fought for it. Because it is this, on this, that the foundation of our party has been laid. Probity, accountability, transparency, and social justice. June 4th uprising happened because of the lies in those days. But Mr. President, the lies are worse today. Today when you mention the word lies, one name comes to mind, Baumia. The uprising happened because of stealing, unemployment. Today, it is worse in our country. The uprising happened because of the hardship, because of corruption. Today, people are praised, are honored for being corrupt in our country, our beloved country, the country our cadres and our forefathers fought for. This is bringing the anger of our people to a level that we can't control. Our founder once said, the anger of the people is like a leaking gas in the kitchen. When it's not controlled and it continues, the room becomes oversaturated with a gas. The moment there is a leak, boom, the whole place will burn. That is the level at which the anger of Ghanaians have reached. We are ready, because in those days there was a young man from Tefle in the Volta region who stood and cleaned the system for us. We are ready today, Mr. President, to serve our democracy. We are ready to guard our ballot boxes come 7 December 2024. We are ready to deliver the HOHOE seat back to NDC. We are ready to make President John Dramani Mahama the next president of the Republic. Mr. President, the perpetual fire that we are looking at today, we want to promise you that it will continue. We are not going to quench it. We will put in more firewood, fan it, till the seat is won for HOHOE constituency. I thank you all, and I want to also thank our chairman for agreeing, for lobbying for this June 4th to be held in HOHOE constituency. It will go into the history of Ghana that it was the June 4th that was launched here, or that we celebrated here, that led to the winning and retaining our seat back from the MPP. We will do it. The men are ready. We will do it. The women are ready. We will do it. The drivers are ready. We will do it. Chaboy! Chaboy! Atanami kakaka miyawe ba odolo.
Akpenami, Yaba PC, Thomas Walanyo Cheku, Akpe. And you be Mida Pena, Miabeju for Planning Committee Chair, Honorable Kofi Ato, Mida Pena Obe, Edo Kumiajibe, and Waniva Volta Region, Miada Pena, Miabe Regional Chairman, Mauto Agbavito, Be Elon, Be Wakweva, HOHOE Constituency, Abe Chujura, Bekakavado, Be Miabe Regional Organizer, Siki Abibu, Ercheno Miame, play local organizers, constituency executives, Bete. Miawe wodo mida penami manyawe vote of thanks le gage miawe wodo mia ide akpa vele aji kaba we do kuku nemi pa mesiame. We plead with you, give us maximum 5 minutes. The others are waiting for us. I haven't mentioned His Excellency, so there will be a caveat there. The next to speak is Comrade Shine Gave. Comrade is the chairman of the United Cadres Front. Comrade.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Your Excellency.
stand on all the protocols established to address this gathering. I am impressed at the fire that is burning in this constituency. And it is my hope that, as you have said, the next time we will come back here, we will not come as orphans, but we will come as heirs. To boy, boy, hey, hey. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the leader and flag bearer of our great party, the National Democratic Congress, and also the chairman for this occasion. I extend to you revolutionary greetings from men and women who sacrificed their lives and comfort for the sake of protecting the cause and freedom and justice that gave birth to Ghana as a nation. The June 4, 1979 uprising sparked the need to confront the political, social, and economic ills that bedeviled the nation. On the occasion of the 44th commemoration of that fateful event, therefore, we want to recall the charged mood expressed and extended from the armed forces and students to the majority of the ordinary Ghanaian, including religious leaders, market women, artisans, and even the unemployed. All these openly voiced the views that things have gone wrong for a long time in the country, and that a change of direction could be achieved only by letting the blood flow to those who embezzled monies and corrupted the system. So therefore, it takes nothing but a good leader in such situations to champion the destiny of a nation. It is in this light of such feats and that made our late hero and inspirer, Flag Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, the man of the people. This was the brainchild which his house cleaning exercises that lasted for only 112 days, from June 4 to 26 September 1979, when power was handed over to the Hila Liman administration. The June 4 uprising came to establish the cause of insisting on people's rights and the need to take one's destiny into one's own hands by fighting to plant into the system the values and ideals of probity, accountability, transparency, and social justice for all citizens. As we commemorate the 44th anniversary of such a great feat and a great event, it is imperative that we look at the essence and therefore the spirit that has guided our actions and inactions within the space of multi-party democracy as a social democratic grouping. The 1992 Constitution is our own creation. For over 30 years of practice, the need for amending sections that are antagonistic to the spirit of June 4 and the essence of the 31st December Revolution is a matter of course. Professor Mills kicked the ball rolling when he set up a Constitutional Review Committee in January 2010. In fact, former President Jerry John Rawlings on June
June 4, 2019, called for an urgent review of the 1992 Constitution to remove entrenched clauses that protected high-level political actors and emboldened them to abuse their office and criminally profit from their positions. In like manner, our leader and flag bearer of the 2024 general elections, President John Dramani Mahama, has made a solemn pledge to lead a charge of overhauling the current constitution in order to re-establish people's power as envisaged. Your Excellency, the party seriously needs cleansing as regards instilling in the body politic the ideals, principles, and values that make us distinct from the other political persuasions. Once upon a time, Flag Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings admonished us to be reminded that our current sense of collective and self-discipline is at its lowest ebb. Let us all do a thorough introspection and identify where we fall short, because we all do fall short one way or the other. Quote ended. June 4, 2019. That is the spirit of June 4, and that is the essence of 31st December, and that is the purpose of the NDC as a political party. Some of our party leading members have become authorities unto themselves, challenging party leadership in public and flouting party directives and positions. In like manner, on social media platforms, ordinary members of the party have forgotten that recourse to party structures and systems, obeying party rules and regulations, and respecting party leadership from national to branch levels are critical ingredients in organizing a strong and a resilient political movement. We must remember that nobody is stronger, neither more important than the collective will and purpose of the great National Democratic Congress. We therefore urge the National Executive Committee to, as a matter of urgency, take steps to instill discipline into the party to rekindle in all of us the spirit of June 4th. The climax of indiscipline is the open secret of creeping into the NDC, the ugly face of monetization. For a delegate to openly complain that money is meant to transport delegates have been seized, and for a parliamentary aspirant to be stealing money in the open are acts totally against the spirit of June 4. Comrade Chairman, Your Excellency, the support for the formation of the young cadres chapters in every constituency must attract the special attention of all current and future party functionaries, presidential and parliamentary aspirants, in order to wield the benefits of social mobilization, party activism, and political organization, which cadres are best known for, benefiting from the experiences of the current stock of cadres who are well trained, both home and abroad, as well as utilizing the exuberance of the young cadres who are being groomed in self-discipline, patriotism, and love for party. At this juncture, I wish to highly commend the Ashanti Region chapter of the Young Cadres, led by their indefatigable coordinator, Comrade Maxwell Deku for the hard work they did before, during, and after the current by-elections held at Kumeru in the Ashanti region. I believe that with a little more resources, we can do better in that region and other regions in capturing power in 2024. Comrade Chairman, two issues are of concern to cadres. Firstly, we are very much concerned about the election directorate of the party. The blame game has raged on for far too long, and nobody is a repository of knowledge and skills. The party leadership must therefore critically look at the urgent state of the election directorate, scan through the human capital and IT logistics that have, and quickly put in place a team that has a winning mentality to give us the needed, properly collated results, especially that of the presidential race. There is no room to sleep in 2024. Secondly, we want to appeal and thus plead with some presenters, communicators, and panel discussants on radio and television who often claim to speak for NDC to be circumspect and measured in what they think and say about the party. They often accuse the NDC for having no strategy, no message, too slow to act, no capacity to go to the streets, etc., etc. Simply put, they take the NDC for granted. And we want to assure them that the NDC is viable, tested, and well-grounded political party with the avowed conviction that we are nation builders who have the ability and capability to win elections, and above all, have the men and women to tactically strike and protect the general interest of state. The Assin-North elections, by-elections, are staring us, and we have to win that seat at all costs. We have to marshal all resources, both human and logistics, to do that. Cadres are ever ready to offer themselves to undertake any task to make the win possible. In conclusion, Your Excellency, I wish on behalf of all cadres, especially the young ones who are our future heritage, to remind the National Executive Committee of the NDC of our final appeal made at Bawenya on the 31st December 2022 about the need for cadre integration into the party's constitution and activities at all levels. We are therefore patiently waiting for the Special Delegates Congress, not only for our own sake, but also address pertinent issues, such as those concerning the youth wing and the parliamentary caucus. Long live the cadre movement of Ghana, long live the great National Democratic Congress, long live Ghana. Thank you, God bless us. Aluta! 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 Thank you very much, God bless us.
We thank Comrade Shine Gaver for his speech. And may I use this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of all our MPs here. I think all MPs in the Volta region are here. We have some MPs from OT region. I wish to specifically mention the chairman from OT region, who once was a very strong activist in HOHOE, Honorable Japon Kujo, who is also in our midst. We want to acknowledge the presence of all our PCs elect. And I want to acknowledge the presence of our chiefs. I can see those from Fotome, Bledi, Zongo, all our chiefs present, I want to acknowledge your presence. And I also want to acknowledge the presence of all NDC members, delegates from Gledivli, Atabu, HOHOE, everybody who is here. I saw people from Lipe and Lolobi and Akpafu. We are so grateful for your presence. Our next speaker is Honorable Dr. Zaneto Rollins, MP for Korle Klote constituency.
I've been asked to keep it short, so I'll read. Yes. The theme, which talks about saving our democracy, the spirit of June 4th. Is democracy about elections? Is it about peaceful transfers of power? Yes, but that's not all. The spirit of June 4th talks about the courage to stand by your convictions. As members of the NDC, as cadres who take their roots from the June 4th uprising, do we have the courage to stand alone if we have to? If we all believe in the same principles, then we are not alone, we stand together. And if we stand together, we are stronger. I'll stand on previous protocols for brevity's sake. Your Excellency, the late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings did not commemorate June 4th because it was fashionable. Nor did he celebrate June 4th because it was politically expedient. As a matter of fact, there were times when he could only gather a handful of people to support him in the commemoration of June 4th. Because it seemed like nobody really wanted to be associated with it at some point. But he was very much aware of the symbolism of June 4th and the importance it plays in our history as a nation. It's somewhat ironic now that a form of amnesia has happened where people have forgotten the chronology of where we are today. That they behave as if we went from independence to the Fourth Republic. The mere fact that we are the Fourth Republic tells you that there have been several interruptions to our constitutional rule. However, the fact that this Fourth Republic has been the most enduring is a testament to what the principles represented. This is your legacy. Be proud of it. Do not allow anybody to shame you about your history. June 4th is your legacy, and that is what resulted in where we are today. So be proud of your legacy. The story of the Fourth Republic cannot be told without the 15th of May, the 4th of June, or 31st December. Our history and the lessons learned are still on the minds of many of those who are above 50. However, unfortunately, because too many people have been silent about our history, too many people under the age of 44 are not aware of the context of the 60s, of the 70s, of the 80s, and of the 90s that gave birth to this republic. This is the reason why events like this are so important, because we are fortunate to still have some of our comrades here who can tell us about what was really happening at the time. Not sugarcoating the truth, not trying to change history, but telling us exactly as it was. And the purpose is not simply for a history lesson. It is for us to know who we are. Because if we lose our identity, then we cannot represent the people of this country. When the people of this country look at us, they look at us knowing that we hold something that cannot be bought. We hold something that is more precious. But we cannot do so if our younger generation do not know the values and principles that we hold dear, that took their origins from the June 4th uprising. Comrades, the pillars of good governance are what are protecting our democracy. And amongst those are inclusivity, respect for the human rights of all citizens, responsiveness of a government to your needs, which means that it shouldn't be when it's time for a by-election that they come and fix your roads or give you water. Accountability, social justice, integrity, equitable distribution of resources, not just resources being sent to somebody's hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1982, the National Commission on Democracy was formed. This was an agency under the Provisional National Defense Council. This was many years ahead of 1992 elections. In 1984, Justice G.F. who subsequently became the Speaker of Parliament, was appointed the chairman of the National Commission for Democracy. In 1985, this agency was officially launched and it made way for our assembly elections in 1988. Let it not be lost on anyone that the genuine intention of Jerry John Rawlings was to transition to an enduring democracy in Ghana. I will quote an excerpt from his speech, which was given in anticipation of the 1992 District Assembly elections, where he reiterated the PNDC's policies and strategies with regards to decentralization. And I quote, "Steps towards more formal political participation are being taken through the district-level elections that we will be holding throughout the country as part of our decentralization policy. As I said in my nationwide broadcast on December 31st, if we are to see a sturdy tree of democracy grow, we need to learn from the past and nurture very carefully and deliberately political institutions that will become the pillars upon which the people's power will be erected. A new sense of responsibility must be created in each workplace, in each village, in each district. We already see elements of this in the work of the CDRs, the 31st December Women's Movement, the June 4th Movement, the Town and Village Development Committees, and other organizations which the voice of the people represent. Comrades, we have many examples across Africa and across the world of heads of state who refuse to leave power. So if people are telling you that Jerry John Rawlings was not a Democrat and did not want to leave power, we shouldn't be here today with so many other transfers of power that have happened since he left. He respected the Constitution in the form that it was presented after the Consultative Assembly. He didn't change it to suit himself. He did not extend his term limits. He did not increase the number of years of his term in office. That is the sign of a Democrat. That is the sign of someone who truly wants to build a foundation for an enduring democracy. Today, every few years we have our district assembly elections. This is an enduring legacy. This is your legacy. Be proud. Do not let people look at you and tell you that you're any less a Democrat than they are. We are the ones who gave birth to the Fourth Republic, and we must be proud of that. Let us prove to the people of Ghana that the NDC is truly a child of the revolution. In what way? By adhering to the principles of integrity, of accountability, of transparency, and of all the principles that we hold dear. Let our speech, let our actions reflect those principles that we claim to hold dear. Let the younger generation see us and understand that this is the party they should join because we hold those principles dear, that we cannot be bought. We are the products of the revolution, we are cadres of integrity, we are foot soldiers of truth, and we are comrades of probity, accountability, and development. If we are to protect this democracy, then we need to ensure that we are prepared for 2024. We do not walk away in the face of difficulty. We stand together. We do not turn our backs on one another. We protect each other and we do what is right. but we don't encourage wrongdoing in our midst. When the thing is wrong, we must be able to say it's wrong and we must deal with it. Any team that is to succeed must have discipline at the core of everything they do. And so, comrades, this is the moment where we must remind ourselves of what matters to us as a people. The people of Ghana are looking to us. We must set the example for them, because 2024, in spite of all the machinations of the NPP, must be about truth and integrity and hope for the generation ahead of us. And so let us represent that. Let that flame that we see burning, burn in our hearts. And when we speak, when we act, let people know that indeed we represent the ideals of the revolution. And those ideals are those of courage, of truth, of integrity, of responsiveness to the people, of representation of the people of Ghana. Let us be the voice of those who have no voice. Let us speak the truth for those who are afraid, because that is what these principles represent, and that is what June 4th is about. The democratic principles that we want to protect, the democracy that we're looking to protect, we cannot do it if we all walk away. It is our numbers that will prove to those who are trying to destroy what we have that we will not allow them to do it, nor we will allow them to get away with their wrongdoing. And so stand together and let us celebrate this 44th anniversary and rededicate ourselves to those principles that will make sure that we win the election. And our flag bearer is here, our leader of the party is here. We must commit ourselves not just to him, but to all those who are representing us in our various constituencies. He needs our majority in parliament if his job is to be successful as a president. So remember that we don't want anyone deciding that you don't want to support our parliamentary candidates. Let's work together and ensure that we have a resounding victory in our presidential and parliamentary elections of 2024. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Ebe ya do pepe na mi gake ebe ibasi ebe mi abe duklola akwụkwọ medo pepe kosira gbota ata medo pepe na mi o ta ebe magbo na mi be akpe na mi magazamonu popo ke. Let me use the opportunity to acknowledge the presence of all national executives present here. We are so much grateful. A quick one. Breko be manami anya NDC talk with HOHOE be nemi pale fi mi de kukunami. Let me academy of organizer, let me da badola, let me pupuno, me the kukunami, eh, the kama to our Tamada kukunami, when me academy, let me wodo. I make me the next one, eh, miato miafu, I make women now, and no miato melahoe, a chilemiato melahoe, and miato metorekai, and no bea punula, miavite minyavela nuku to Hohe, ela nuku abe Hohe. And the person I'm talking about is our own General Secretary, who is one of us. Who has been a HOHOE boy, who is still a HOHOE boy, and will be a HOHOE boy. And let me invite Honorable Fifi Kwete as our next speaker. Honorable. Akpenami, miato howe to kata, akpenami kata. Your Excellency, former President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, our flag bearer elect, I want to stand on every protocol, existing protocol to address our people. Majago mato bene miano vi howe to kata, miato bio, yamamao, yabodumagao, akpenami. Agloba nyeto machitre de nye fofonya kakula danya fofonya no HOHOE ejagoma as a clerk at the Barclays Bank la HOHOE afivajo la HOHOE evajo la HOHOE va yinsawa okaka zo manager of Barclays Bank atropo 1964 alaba gatropo HOHOE as a bank manager here. Komaglokowa ayova HOHOE time mi amaro ojimi la HOHOE ma that I stand here as a true son of the land. Alaba ebai magara tuama. I was born at the HOHOE Government Hospital. Yeah, Daniel, my mother was then a midwife in HOHOE Government Hospital. Afi mi no te parel Bangalore, that time, Barclays Bank manager. They buy my never Bangalore, just to remember a place where my umbilical cord is still buried. Akpenani. Me away Bedora, me away NDC to quarter. Not only are we getting this seat in HOHOE back, but we actually getting the royal seat of this country back in 2024. Paraku ma bia permission magara yevubama. Alaba miaba to pola ho to atansenya chanya boge mi ala. Papa mia to yo kata na Ghana kata wase enya mia bogloke. Da penani. Mia Fofo Jerry John Rawlings, some 44 years ago. An event happened in this country. That event, we call it the June 4 Revolution. And that June 4 Revolution actually started some 22 days earlier. And those 22 days fell on May 15th. That day of May 15 was when there was a need to rise to saving our country that had been on the process downward to a place where light was completely almost gone in our country. When he stood on that day of May 15 together with young soldiers who stood with him, they stood not because of themselves. Unlike what was happening in other parts of Africa, those young men did not stand on that day of May 15th just because they wanted to also become leaders of a country. In the part of Africa where people did it only for themselves, within a matter of a few months, maximum 1 year, those leaders immediately promoted themselves, sometimes from sergeants or captains. They went immediately to become generals, in some places field marshals. That tells you the reason why they rose in many parts of Africa was selfish purposes. They stood for themselves. They wanted an opportunity to become leaders themselves and lord it over the people. But the difference in Ghana was that a young 31-year-old man who stood up May 15, 1979, and subsequently June 4, which is 44 years ago today, rose not because he wanted to become a field marshal, nor because he wanted to become a general in the army. So he remained a flight lieutenant on that day, remained a flight lieutenant subsequent on 31st December 1981, remained a flight lieutenant at the end of that process in 1992, and remained a flight lieutenant for the rest of his life. So that tells you the journey was not about him as an individual. It was how to stop the darkness that has totally covered our land. A land that started as a nation of brightness. A land under Kwame Nkrumah where light shone bright from here, engulfed the whole of West Africa and spread across the whole of Africa and entered into different parts of the world. And that light started to come down. And that light started to become darker and darker until the time came where almost that flame was gone. So June 4, 1979 was an event to bring back that light again into our country. And that light stands for the self-empowerment of the people of Ghana. In 1992, when Rawlings started running back for this constitutional order as the first flag bearer of this great party, the NDC, the message Rawlings carried in 1992, many of you will remember, especially when he addressed that mammoth rally at Caicos, when he stood up and said, this country is not going back, it's only moving forward.
That message was all about the power belongs to you. Take back the power. Don't let those who claim to be leaders take the power from you. So this journey is all about self-empowerment. And as we as NDC people understand that this journey is not about our own personal benefit, but an awakening in us that helps us to become self-empowered in order to empower our communities, empower this country, and become a means that we true power can reside in the people of Ghana. We have not understood the reason why that light, that flame was lit on June 4. Now when Rollins could stand before his accusers and said, "Let my men go, I alone will take responsibility," he did so because he understood that the mission that was in was greater than himself, was a mission that came from above on a journey for transformation and revival of a country that was destined to be a great country, not just in Africa, but across the world. So NDC, we have a mission. We have a destiny. And the revolution was just a trumpet that was blown. We sing all the time, Revo, revolution has a long way to go, but has come to stay. Now let's understand that the revolution was simply a trumpet that awoke us. But when we say cadres may go, cadres may come, but the revolution has come, it simply means it's not just talking about revolution anymore. It's talking about an evolution in us. An evolution which is a journey that we have day by day. An evolution that shows our love for country, our love for our communities, the transformation of this beautiful country, the emergence of people who are genuinely selfless, who love their country, who want to do what is right, who will abhor injustice, fight for the social justice of this country, and the true empowerment of our people. That is what the evolution is about. So the revolution simply opened a door to a greater thing that should be the evolution of this country. And that evolution must come from you and I. We are supposed to be the cadres of that revolution, carrying an evolution that will transform Ghana. God willing, by the grace of God, by the grace of Allah. And I come from Nogopo in the Volta region. So I say, by the grace of our ancestors and the spirit of our land, the traditional spirit that hold our land, we will come back to power. We will come back to power. And the reason why we are coming back to power is not because we need to come and fight for our own selves. But we need to fight to come back so that that perpetual flame can blaze again in this country. So that that journey that started on May 15 and June 4 will be a journey that will take this country through a reconstruction again and stand out on the destiny that will make sure we can fulfill the dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers of this great country. So please remember, as we remember this day was not simply a fight against people who were doing kalabuli. This day was principally a fight against people who did not understand that this journey is about the love for nation and the love of our people and what we should do that to make sure this country can see genuine transformation. And therefore, as we sing our anthem, and I'm talking about the NDC anthem, remember it says, "Arise, arise for Ghana, all patriots of our land." That's what this party is supposed to be for. Men and women who are genuine patriots, who love this country, who will sacrifice and make sure things are done well for the sake of our generation now and the generations unborn. May that perpetual flame continue to burn in our hearts. May He enable us to understand the true evolution that this country should see, especially a clarion call to the younger generation. I had a few say recently, I was not born 44 years ago, so it doesn't really matter. It matters. As Rollins would say, they who fail to learn the lessons of history will repeat the mistakes over and over. So the younger generation understand who we are, understand where we are coming from. The NDC cannot take this country to where it's supposed to be until every single one of you appreciate who we are. And who we are comes from June 4 and comes from 31st December. Thank you. God bless you. And remember that our victory next year depends on the self-awakening, the empowerment that every single one of you can appreciate, the selflessness and the courage that will come. That will get behind our flag bearer and ensure that he can carry our flag and also carry the fire for the transformation of our country. Akbenami, miawe doga, amen.
Deputy Regional Organizer.
The place is so quiet.
President, 7 January 2025. May I have the singular honor to welcome on stage our President for 7 January 2025, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you very much. That was a very wonderful display of the June 4 spirit. NDC is the only party that has a meaningful party anthem. And when that anthem is played, it evokes the patriotism of all our foot soldiers and our cadres. Thank you all very much. Let me stand on existing protocol because time is fast spent and just say welcome to everybody who has come here to remember a very special day. In the scenic beauty of HOHOE, we have gathered here today to mark the 44th anniversary of a day on which a seismic shift occurred in our socio-political life as a nation. It is a day whose significance in our country's history perhaps comes only second to the day our dear nation became independent. The iconic revolutionary and statesman Jerry John Rawlings led a group of determined military officers to stage a popular uprising that would alter the course of our nation's history. We mark this milestone today in the solemn but deeply regrettable knowledge that the inspiration behind this epochal event, Jerry John Rawlings, rests with his maker, having departed this earth almost 3 years ago. Professor John Evans, with him in eternal rest are many comrades with whom we shared the reality of the struggle to rebuild our country over many decades. Professor John Evans Atamils, Kwesi Bekwe Emisarata, Captain Kojo Chikata, Justice D.F. Anand, P.V. Obeng, Professor Kwesi Botre, Professor Kofi Awono, Madam Ama Benyua Do, Mr. Harry Sawyer, Dr. Mary Grant, D.S. Boating, Captain Clem Sou, and a host of other stalwarts of the revolution are no longer with us today. May God bless their memory and give them peaceful rest in his bosom. The mortal journeys of these personalities may have ended, but their memories and the works for which they live will continue with us for generations to come. May their souls and those of all our departed comrades find eternal rest in heaven. At that tumultuous moment, when the June 4 uprising occurred, we had fallen from our position as the bright light of Africa, a newly independent nation with big and noble aspirations, and had become one ravaged by economic disaster, institutional decay, corruption, and utter despondency. Unmet expectations, severe economic hardships, and general misrule created a climate within which Ghanaians yearned for a radical change of the status quo. It was little wonder, therefore, that when Jerry John Rawlings burst onto the scene and offered a pivot around which such change could be realized, he garnered general support from the broad masses of our people who were willing to put their shoulders to the wheel and reset our country. Such was the poignancy of June 4th that it served as a reference point for subsequent events in our country. It signaled the desire by the people of Ghana to do things differently and to hold to account those whose misrule had brought our dear nation to its knees. A few years after the events of June 4th, President Rawlings was back at the helm of affairs in the early 1980s.
and with unique and effective leadership, he harnessed the collective efforts and sacrifice of patriotic men and women bound by the spirit of comradeship and the singular objective of lifting our country out of the doldrums. A dramatic turnaround was within our reach. Not even the instant problems of economic recession, hyperinflation, prolonged droughts, devastating bushfires, shortage of essential commodities, little to no public revenue, and an astronomical national debt could repress the determination with which this salvage operation was undertaken. Through sound policy choices, an economic miracle began to take shape in Ghana. Within a few years, our economy, which had been considered a basket case and which had consistently recorded negative growth and was characterized by uncontrollable inflation, began to post positive results. Year on year, inflation came under control and some degree of normalcy was restored to economic management. The shops, which a few years ago had been empty and struggled to stock enough to serve a desperate population, were now filled with items that could easily be obtained without long and winding queues. Once stability had been returned to the economy, attention turned to resolving the socio-economic problems of poverty, disease, inequality, weak and outmoded infrastructure, and inadequate institutional arrangements. Many timely social interventions were introduced to improve the living conditions of our people. Among these was the famous Program of Action to mitigate the social cost of adjustment. And I'm sure cadets here will remember PAMSCA. Admittedly, it was a mouthful to pronounce, but it was designed as a safety net to address the plight of those who were adversely impacted by some of the challenging but essential economic measures that had to be adopted to correct the severe damage that had been done to the Ghanaian economy, including the effects of the structural adjustment program and the economic recovery programs. In the years that followed, they ushered in drafting and promulgating the 1992 Constitution, which formed the basis of the reintroduction of democratic governance. For those of you who remember, this 1992 Constitution was drafted by a consultative assembly made up of the ordinary people of this country. The butchers, the teachers, the traders, the nurses, the blacksmiths, and all the ordinary people of this country came together and gave us the 1992 Constitution. Since then, Ghanaians have made an irrevocable choice of democracy as the only and viable preferred mode of governance. Our collective duty, especially those of us who are the inheritors of the June 4th uprising tradition, is to guard the democratic space jealously and ensure its sustenance and survival. Many things happening in our nation today hark back to the period leading up to June 4th. There is no better time to highlight them frankly than when we are marking this 44th anniversary and to reflect on the impact on our history. Today, we are wallowing in anguish and pain and suffering while reeling under severe hardship resulting directly from a mismanagement of our economy. Our country today has been declared bankrupt, and we've suffered the humiliation of defaulting on our debts. Prices of goods and services continue to rise, and our education and healthcare systems are in very poor shape. The livelihoods of millions of Ghanaians, including our aged, which is contingent on earnings from funds that they lent to the government, have also been ruined by a most callous debt restructuring program. Amidst this socio-economic gloom, the Akufo-Addo government continues to dabble in corruption and waste of scarce public resources. They prefer to better their lot and improve their circumstances to the detriment of the millions of ordinary Ghanaians. Opulence, ostentation, gaslighting have become this government's preference, even as unemployment reaches unprecedented levels in our history. Almost all the independent state institutions carefully built and nurtured over the decades to ensure sound, balanced, and equitable governance have been deliberately weakened and bastardized through politicization and subjugation to the will of the Akufo-Addo administration and the ruling New Patriotic Party. Ours is a country in dire need of proper leadership and governance. The June 4th uprising occurred for far less than what is happening in our country today. The national decay can only fester. The national decay can only fester under this NPP mandate. A new revolution, this time of a democratic and peaceful kind, must take place at the elections of 2024 to end the suffering of our people and enable us to begin resetting our nation. It will be no easy task as we face an incumbent that is hell-bent on maintaining the status quo so that they can continue to better their circumstances and amass undeserved wealth at the expense of the Ghanaian people. We are responsible for organizing and letting our message of hope reach everyone across the length and breadth of our land, that the dark days will last only for a moment more, and that a new dawn is lurking on the horizon. And that when that new dawn breaks, the governmental rot, the economic hardships, and the insensitivity to the plight of the people, and the offensive corruption and waste of the people's resources will be a thing of the past. To the millions of young Ghanaians out there for whom affording one meal a day is a very serious challenge, and for whom leaving this country in droves, even at the peril of their lives, is a preferred option. To the thousands of business people whose businesses face ruin because of the gross mismanagement of this economy, I urge you not to despair. There is hope on the horizon. I look forward with hope that the day is coming when a new paradigm shift is going to occur. Your help would, however, be required in order to achieve this endeavor. Do not allow those who have made life difficult for you all these years to mislead you with hollow sloganeering and shallow populism. Please do not allow them to convince you that you must vote for them in 2024 because of your origin or your family ties. The suffering and pain of the last 7 years have not discriminated along ethnic, tribal, religious, or sectarian lines. There should be sufficient basis to work towards a change that helps reset our country and build the Ghana we all want together. It must be a change that will afford you a shot at fulfilling your aspirations and realizing your dreams in your own country. As heirs of the revolution in the NDC, we have no choice but to offer dedicated leadership for this effort. We dare not fail, for to do so would mean to condemn our people who look towards us with hope to further suffering and pain under a party and government whose only intent for annexing power is to guarantee their creature comforts and open the public purse for systematic looting, abuse, and pillaging. Ladies and gentlemen, in government we must be different from what the NPP has been. We must set a new standard in governance so that Ghanaians will appreciate that we are not condemned as a people to live with this level of greed and impunity. I hear people say we must come to power and also exact our pound of flesh. But as the inheritors of the spirit of June 4th, I dare say we cannot become a copy of the NPP, or else Ghanaians would have lost all hope of salvation. Let us all be guided by our history as a nation and do the things that are necessary to restore hope and confidence in our increasingly despondent people. That this democratic experiment we embarked on in 1992 is the most effective means of achieving national progress and development. We have no other choice than to do this and to do it quickly. May the flame of the June 4th uprising continue to burn in all of us, even as we mark the 4 decades and beyond that have passed since our national destiny was permanently changed by the events of those heady days. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to congratulate all those who have participated in this event, to commend the parade commander and those who participated in the parade for the very smart turnout that we have seen today. I also want to thank the organizers for a very beautiful event that went seamlessly and has been enjoyed by all who came to participate in it. May God take all of us back safely home, and till we meet again next year on June 4th, let us keep the flame of June 4th burning. I thank you for your kind attention. Akpena mi mauna yira mikata akpe.
Akpena Miabe President, 7th January 2025. Obamido on Apenu Wevo. I think we have to title this speech, Dream of My Future President. The Dreams of My Future President. And Nuke Gogonami Olenyebe, Togo Enemia Chemifa, Aleminya Mila government, I can look already, Mima copy. Alabama Diamiabe President, Chene no Chilele Yame, the Kojo no Abatima and Okojo. But Kumia Pasi Polygan and Amiabe President. The MP for North Dine. Wabanami vote of thanks.
Akwekaka Ayazu 44 years ago, I think some of us were just ideas in our parents' minds. Honorable guests, distinguished leaders, esteemed party members, fellow citizens, it is with immense gratitude and honor that I stand before you today to offer my heartfelt thanks on this special occasion. As we gather here to celebrate the June 4th, honor the legacy of the NDC and the principles of the June 4th. I want to use this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for allowing us to have the day. I extend my deepest gratitude to the paramount chiefs and the traditional leaders present. Tabio, Mamao, Amechichobe Vimena Atoheleo. Yate yom ya bete mi apenko. Takene koklopo atoe. Mia NDC towe la pedana mi. Mia o mi atento be o mi ava mi apain bajio. Takene mi asike yo mi tode mia o. Oba onyo de ka check mi wa ka ba di wo menyo de ka o. Mi awe wa do kakaka. To our esteemed leader, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the incoming President of the Republic of Ghana. Your presence here fills our hearts with so much pride and inspiration. Your dedication and tireless efforts and service towards our nation and party has left a mark on our lives. We are privileged to have you address us today and grateful for your unwavering commitment towards the values that the NDC stands for. To our General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Kwete, anytime we see you on this land, we feel so much loved. We see hope and we know you will deliver. Thank you for honoring our invitation. To our speakers, thank you for educating us. Like I said earlier, 44 years ago, some of us were just ideas in our parents' minds. We didn't know anything about the June 4th, but your enriched knowledge has really inspired us today. Our party elders, national executives, regional executives, constituency and branch executives, your sacrifices towards the success of this program won't go unnoticed. Fellow Akatamansonians, Ekbekhemitole Fide, Mawa Menuveve, let me out me who the freeway, Mau Dola Ma Pupu, Avaseng Academia, Namuke, Nakokolopo Atoi, Mia NDC Towe, Yakala Akpedana Mia NDC Tobete, Akpena Mikadaka.
Peter Kwena Mianovi, Honorable Joycelyn Tete, MP for North Dine. Meraku Miakpe Malam Mabruk. Malam Mabruk will lead us with a closing prayer. Malam Mabruk. We have one of our MPs all the way from Upper West region in our midst. So we are very grateful for your presence. MP for One Central is in our midst. We are very, very grateful. Honorable Rashid Pelpo, we are very grateful for your presence. And we thank everybody that we might not have had the opportunity to mention your name. Please, we are so, so much grateful. Honorable Joycelyn Tete, next time thank me too. So I'll round over the mic to Honorable Alhaji Malam Mabruk.
Sallu ala nabiyil karim. Muna yi ma Allah godiya da muka kawo ƙarshen wannan zaman. Allah ya ba mu lafiya da zama lafiya. Baƙinmu in sun tashi Allah ya sauke su lafiya. Allah ya ba mu nasara 2024. Albarkacin Rasulullahi. Ya kiyaye mu da shugaban ƙasanmu John Dramani Mahama baki daya. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار آمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Mida pena Malam Mabruk. Preku mido wana penu upe ta mia se party anthem ku mia pe fafala wano mobia le mia bo. So mia to bye now.